Assalamu alaikum. Peace and power to the true and living. Good morning. This is my name is Jasir Kabir, and it's on the East Coast. It is about 6:15 in the morning, and this live broadcast. I want to do it as a reminder to my people here in America, especially the black man in America who is running around aimless without a purpose. We've got so immersed and comfortable in this white man society that if we're not careful, in a few hundred years, our little small tribe here in America will become extinct. And you may think that it is impossible for us to become extinct. And that's because of your religious beliefs. Well, one of the great aspects of the teachings of Islam as taught by Elijah Muhammad. Give me a second. Is that he taught that the black man is God. And I don't think we understand what that really means. And that's why I think we don't believe it for the most part. We don't really believe that the black man is God. We take on the saying, it has become a cliche, the black man is God, the black man is Allah, you are Allah. And that those words are true. That goes without saying. But I don't think we understand the gravity and the weightiness of that particular idea. As was covered a couple of days ago, every weapon that our enemies use, it was manufactured and engineered from their thinking. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught that every man is a God. The white man is also a God. He's the God of his world. And that we are at the end of his world. He said the end of his world was in the year 1914. And an extension of time was given to them so that we, the black man and woman in America, could receive the truth. And once we receive the truth, there will be no more excuses for us being strung up in the white man's slavery and suffering and the death. As you can see, this actual fact board behind me, it spells it out for us. The question is asked, you can see it, which one will survive the war of Armageddon? And on one side of the board, you see the cross. And underneath of the cross is the flag of America and the religion of America, which is Christianity. In the middle behind me, it asks the question, which one will survive the war of Armageddon? And to the right of me, you see the flag of Islam, the sun, moon, and stars. And the words underneath of it, freedom, justice, and equality. Islam. You can't see underneath Christianity because my chair's here, where you see the man hanging from the tree. And throughout the entirety of Elijah Muhammad's manifestation of the truth of Islam, he taught on the importance of uniting and the acquisition of land, that we may build our own society. And when you start getting into the guts and the roots of what he actually taught, without being able to build our own society, then we're going to be subjected to the society or the world or the civilization of the white man. So my coverage today is taken from his own words. We're on the brink of extinction. Let me read something to you. This is taken from the Uline Arena speech in May of 1959, Uline Arena in Washington, D.C. And these are just excerpts from the speech, May 29th, 1959. And this is what is written. My people, I am here to fulfill a promise made long ago. I am here to bring you the truth. I am here with a solution to the problems of the so-called Negro and his white slave masters. You are seeking something. You are seeking an answer to your 400-year-old problem of slavery, servitude, and filth class citizenship. I am here with the solution to that problem. How good it is then for Black brothers of like minds and similar burdens to get together for a spiritual feast. For more than 400 years, you are pleased for justice, freedom, and equality. A decent place in the sun have reverberated like thunderclaps sounding in the dark valleys of Lebanon. Yet there has been no answer. Never in the history of human evil have so many acts for just a pittance, so loud, so long, and received in return so little, if anything at all. The church has failed you. Christianity has failed you. The government of America has failed you. You have not received justice from any quarter. As prophesied, you, my fellow Black men, are as sheep among wolves, and it is to be expected every wolf is taking a bite at you. You approach the Senate, the House, the White House, and you ask for justice. You get injustice. All our prayers have come to naught because we have proceeded out of ignorance. We have not known the true God. We have not known who are our brothers. We have not known who are our enemies. We have not known who is God, nor have we known who is the devil. In a nutshell, we have not known the truth about God, the devil, and until that truth is made plain to us, our prayers for justice will forever go unanswered. We will be the subject of scorn and laughter. By now, it should be ever so clear that politics will no more solve our problem than it did the difficulties facing Israel during her bondage in Egypt. We have come to the brink of extinction. We must now and here make an agonizing reappraisal of our way of life if we care anything for ourselves, our lives, our people, our race, the future of our properties, wives, and children. And these words form the basis for this coverage this morning. And as you can look in the thumbnail and you can look at this shirt, it says, rest in peace, white supremacy. And I designed this shirt, I don't know how many years ago. And I wear it from time to time. And you see, it's a tombstone, rest in peace, white supremacy. And for years, you have a lot of talking heads running around talking about white supremacy. white supremacy. We can't get ahead because of white supremacy. Well, most of these people who are saying that, they still are without a knowledge of themselves. They're just running their mouth. There's no such thing as white supremacy. The white man is not supreme. The supreme being is the black man. The black man in America is a member of the original people. I'm gonna say this again. The supreme being is the black man of Asia. And the black man of America is a member of the black man of Asia. I'm going to say this one more time. The white man is not the supreme being. The supreme being is the black man of Asia, the original people, who is Allah. The black man in America is a member of the original people. The black man in America is a member of the black man of Asia. The black man in America is a member of the original people. The black man is God, the supreme being, Allah. I want to let that resonate there and just want you to think about that for a second as you listen to what I'm trying to cover. But this subject that I'm trying to cover this morning is about us being able to avoid becoming an extinct species. You know, since we've been on this planet and we have no birth record, there have been small tribes of original people that have become extinct. You can Google this on the internet and you can see this for yourself. We are just a small tribe. At the time, we were 17 million plus the 2 million Indians. Now we're about almost 50 million people. So this was May of 1959, which is approximately almost 65 years ago. I'm gonna say this again. This was May of 1959, which has been almost 65 years ago. And we seem to think that we going to survive it without doing anything to survive it. We think we can just sit at home and wait for a mystery God to come and solve our problems. Well, our enemies, our adversaries, they don't advocate that kind of God. They don't get on their knees and pray. They go make it happen. Everything that the white man has manufactured of evil comes out of his mind, comes out of his thinking. It comes out of his nature, which is lying and murdering. He's a liar and a murderer by nature. And although the white man is the devil, the white man still had to be taught. I'm going to say this again. Although by nature the white man is the devil, the white man still had to be taught. Although the black man by nature is the righteous, the black man still has to be taught. Now, where this black man still has to be taught becomes a problem is due to self-hatred, envy, jealousy, backbiting, slander, beating and killing one another. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught we must first be brothers. We must first be brothers. Why is that important? Because in this circle of brotherhood, you're talking about you're going to manifest the oneness of Almighty God Allah. And since this truth has come to us, we have not only grasped the truth, we've become more divided than ever. And being able to get on social media and display our monkey-like character, our monkey-like characteristics, it appears that, to me, that we're not going to survive this. So I take it upon myself as one soldier to fight against our being carried off into a form of destruction and or extinction, which means our history, our future can be blotted out. And the Black Muslim community in America, we seem to think that that's not possible. We seem to think that it's not possible that we will be destroyed if we do nothing. And the message said we can easily be destroyed with the white man if we sit by and do nothing. If we sit and do nothing, we will be destroyed. These are his words. But he taught so much truth in his 43 and a half years, which edified and elevated the Black man to a different mental state. But that the transference of the knowledge from our minds to our actual work product, we see no sign of it. We still see a lot of religious nothingness, a lot of rituals and whatnot. And then you begin to see people just fall off the wagon altogether. Well, I don't believe in that no more. I don't adhere to that. You want to take bits and pieces of what Elijah Muhammad taught. You look at it from an economic standpoint. And you got the people who look at it purely from a religious standpoint. You know, you look at it from a how to eat to live standpoint. What you eat, what you wear, you know, the from the perspective of self-improvement. Well, you look at the FBI COINTELPRO, brothers and sisters. This is what they said. They said they want to destroy the Black man or destroy the Nation of Islam, to bring it to ruin by getting within the ranks of the Nation of Islam and removing the idea or the teachings of separation from the Nation of Islam's doctrine, and to generate factionalism. And even today, as you begin to look across the landscape of what is known as the Nation of Islam, we can see that taking place. That has already happened. And the Black Muslim men who refer to themselves as military soldiers or the fruit of Islam, what is the meaning in FOI? Fruit of Islam, the name given to the military training of the men that belongs to Islam in North America. And what we have taken on, we've taken on the posture of civilians, and we've lost the essence of what it means to be militarily trained. And what does military have to do with theology? What does military has to do with religion? This is a question that you and I must ask ourselves, and you must come up with an answer. This is a war, the war of Armageddon. That's what's taking place. The war of Armageddon. War between right and wrong, truth and falsehood, Christianity, Islam, and it also includes Buddhism, is what he said. So you're still holding on to the white man being supreme over you, even though you say that you are the supreme being. But your actions dictate that you don't really believe in that. And the reason why that is there is because the slavery religion of Christianity has settled into our thinking so far, so deep, is rooted in our minds, has become a part of our altered nature. David changed our nature. They just altered it, which is only a temporary condition that we can change and revert back to its originality. It doesn't happen without work product. It doesn't happen without deeds. It does not happen just because you said so. Because to sit at home and wait for it to happen without actually making it happen, then you are advocating a mystery God. That means that you're going to continue to depend on the white man's religion called Christianity to solve this problem, even though you call yourself a Muslim. You call yourself Allah, you call yourself God. So when you begin to look over the landscape of the nation of Islam and you really see no example anywhere of what I'm covering, you're not going to find anyone, I haven't seen anyone that is active in our community. I mean, actively engaged in dealing with this aspect of the teaching, which is to avoid annihilation, to avoid becoming an extinct species. The messenger taught that we have come to the brink of extinction. So I have an article here in front of me titled "The Black Man's Duty." And I want to cover some excerpts from this article. You know, you have to get up early in the morning, brothers. I'm not talking to the sisters. I'm talking to the brothers. Most of you probably sleep. You probably don't, or you've gotten up and getting ready for work or whatever you're doing. But I guarantee you, your mind and heart is not on us being able to survive this onslaught of being removed from the planet. This is an article titled "The Black Man's Duty." It's taken from the September the 10th, 1971 issue of Muhammad Speaks newspaper. The Black Man's Duty by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. And this is what he wrote. The duty of the black man is to do something for his black self and black kind. The duty of the black man is self-preservation. Every life that is created on the planet Earth has a duty. It is bound to this duty by nature to do something for self. The once slave black man in America, enslaved by the white people, his white slave master and enemy, made the black man a subject and keeps him a subject by depriving the black man of the knowledge of self and the doing for self. These are the two most hated things which the white man hates to have come to the black man. The freedom to do something for black self and the freedom to think for his black self. He hates for the black man to be a visionary for his black self. He hates for the black man to control ideas that will produce recognizable, constructive plans and doing for black self. He said, our divine duty today is to unite on a constructive plan that I have, by the help and guidance of Allah God, set before you. Your efforts, you blind black leaders, is to have it say that you lead this people into that plan in order to get some name for your own black leadership, which you are not qualified to do. It is divine leadership that will win for the black man and not political leadership nor Christian leadership. And if you want a copy of this article, send me an email. You can go to this YouTube channel and get my email. The will of Allah. What is the will of Allah? See, we got to get rid of this false deity. We have to get rid of this. See, which one you want? Which one is Jesus? Neither of them. So you can Google the image of Jesus, and you're going to find I don't know how many images right on right on the internet. So you don't have to be this much of a tool and a slave today, but you choose to be. This is going to bring about our demise. So we have a little temple, called a little temple out here in rural America, called the Do for Self Academy Temple of Islam. We have a Do for Self Academy Temple of Islam YouTube page. We have a Do for Self Academy Temple of Islam Facebook page. We on Instagram and so on and so forth. We also have a website titled the Do for Self Academy.org. You can go there and you can read most of the stuff that I'm going to cover. And I said to the black man in America, those of you who are desiring a way out of this mess that we are in, if you care anything about your future, the future of your children, of our children, then it's imperative that you look at the solution to solve this problem. And the solution to solve this problem, it is a divine one. When I say divine, I'm not talking about religion. Your rituals are not going to solve this. You cannot get involved in cargo cultism, trying to mimic a history that is already expired. We have to renew our history. In the renewing of our history, we renew our history based on the circumference of the earth. So we renew history every 25,000 years, or we make history or Quran every 25,000 years to equal our home circumference. And the circumference of the earth is approximately 25,000 miles in circumference. It's actually 24,896 in circumference. So we round it off to 25,000. This comes out of our supreme wisdom. So you're too busy trying to live in a history that is already expired, which is 1930 to 1975. We in a whole new time period. So all this marching and Happy Savior's Day and all of the things that you see the black Muslim community doing, you see no signs. No, there is no evidence anywhere. You have little small pockets of people with these self-appointed leaders saying that they actually are in charge of the Nation of Islam. You have a group in Chicago. You have a group in Atlanta. You have some folks down in, I think, Mississippi. You got some people in New Jersey. You have these self-appointed men that has a following. And the biggest one you're going to find is in Chicago. And when you hear Nation of Islam, the first thing come to mind, or the first person comes to mind, is the man that's in Chicago. Well, if you don't know the history of the man in Chicago, then you're going to assume that he's the leader of the Nation of Islam. You're going to make this assumption. And when you make an assumption, you're making a donkey out of yourself and others. So you can't make this. You have to understand the mathematics of this. Then you have the man in Chicago. The man in Atlanta. You have someone out in the Midwest. I don't know if that guy's still living or not. Who say he traveled to the sun at night. And the scientists beamed them up. I mean, people are going crazy. They're losing their mind and they begin to start lying. So you really don't know which way to go. So I'm just here to offer our people an opportunity to find the right path. And I'm not trying to be anybody's leader. I'm telling you that right now. You try to follow me, you're going to die. We have to have a circle of brotherhood. But you have to know how to erect and build leadership among ourselves. You just can't be an average man coming off the streets because you don't read a few books and read a few articles, and that you can recite some lessons and understand how to get this accomplished. You have to have a superior wisdom. You have to know how to properly vet people, men, women, and children. Because if not, you're going to allow a weak and grafted teaching to come among us. And when you allow that weak and grafted teaching to come among us, it's going to start causing trouble. We already have this in our history in the making of the white man. And we can recognize, a small number of us can recognize this today, that we understand what we're looking at when we see you come among us. So what we've done is we've come up with a substantive work product to be able to readily identify you. And we question you when you come among us. And that seemed to run people away. So I had a dear friend of mine, a sister, last night, and she said, you know, Kabir, you run people away. Because one of the most mysterious things to me, when I say mysterious, I'm just using this for a lack of a better word. But one of the great mysteries in all of civilization, to me, is how the messenger was so patient with the American so-called Negro. I mean, he was just as cool and calm as collected. And so she goes, well, you know, Kabir, you need to go back and look at proper handling of people. And I'm trying to explain to her that proper handling of people is not a part of supreme wisdom. Proper handling of people is there to keep self-hatred, backbiting, fighting, and killing one another out of the way. But it's not supreme wisdom. So you got to stop trying to use proper handling of people in the wrong context. So I said, well, I do know how to use proper handling of people. I just choose not to do it sometimes because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I tell you, you're just going to disbelieve it. One of the components in this time period is the consequences of rejection. The man already taught for 43 and a half years. So now we are paying the price for our rejection of what he taught. What is the essence of what he taught? The essence of what Elijah Muhammad taught is separation. It's the duty to preserve, defend, and protect ourselves, to do something for self. That's the essence of the whole 43 and 1/2 years of expression of divine wisdom. It just took him that long because we are just that dead. We were that dead, and we're even worse today. We are actually in a worse condition now, and I'm being brutally honest. We are in a worse condition now than we were prior to getting the truth. And this is a fact. It doesn't appear that way because we eat better, we have a better frame of mind, and we can say things to ourselves to make us feel better about ourselves. Where this failure to grasp the reality of this Islam can be located, it can be discovered, one word, which is separation. Separation will manifest your disbelief and hypocrisy against our own future. This is the essence of this Islam. So anyone that's in opposition to Islam, in opposition to what Elijah Muhammad taught, these people are our enemies. And they can be black, they can be white, they can be brown, red, or it doesn't matter. When you advocate that Elijah Muhammad is wrong, then that means you do not have a solution to solve this problem. The excerpt that I just read you He said God gave him the solution to solve the problem between the two people. So when you reject the solution, that means the problem between the two people is an ongoing phenomenon. And that's what we're looking at. So you, on the one hand, you are complaining about the white man, rightfully so. But on the other hand, you're not trying to apply or take the medicine or the solution or the prescription that the doctor has written. So we are given a solution or a prescription to solve this problem that we continue to have to make manifest, which is a problem of poison. We have been poisoned. Our minds are poisoned. Our hearts are poisoned. It is a mental sickness. It's a mental disease. And this is brought about mental illness in our community. Back in 2019, I did a series, probably was March of 2019, for an entire month on mental illness in the Black community. And I dealt with this. And you can go within the message teachings and you can discover him actually talking about this mental illness or this mental death. And what this mental illness or mental death derives from, it derives from our repetitive carrying out of the rejection of the prescription or the medicine. What is the medicine? The medicine is separation. The medicine is to unite and come up with constructive plans to secure our future. The greatest hindrance to our future is these preachers. Not just the people that get up on the rostrum. Now you have these preachers all over the World Wide Web. The Umar Johnsons, this SETI guy, all of this, there's many of them. And I'm not trying to disparage them, but these people do not have the solution to your problems. And they have gone on record being in total opposition to what Elijah Muhammad taught. So you have these people, these talking heads all over the internet. Claude Anderson, you even having women doing it because you're able to generate a following, but none of them, from an individual standpoint or from a collective standpoint, can offer you the solution to solve the problem of the Black man. Not one of them. None of them. You can bring them all to me and I will give them an intellectual handpas whooping that they'll never forget. But that's what you like. You like to get your ears tickled. And you do not like to sit down and get sound doctrine in your mind. What is sound doctrine? Sound doctrine is separation, brothers and sisters. It's to build our own society. But you have to have divine wisdom or supreme wisdom or a superior wisdom to do it. And if you don't have that, you can complain about the white man all you want to. You have everyone showing up. You have a lot of people showing up all over the place now because you have access to this technology. So you can put a microphone. That's what I have. I get up in the morning, I'm doing a broadcast. But I'm presenting a solution. I'm presenting the solution to solve our problem, which is separation. I'm out here in rural Virginia right now. We have to build a new government. And we cannot use the wisdom or the politics of the white man. We cannot use the politics of the Arabs. We cannot use the politics of the Africans. Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, the one who was to come and has come and given us the intellectual tools or the intellectual weapons to build our own society, to protect it, to defend it, and to preserve it. This is all the white man uses. He uses knowledge. And part of his knowledge base is deception. He is the master of deception. That's the only authority that he has, because his great minds, his great scientists that he's had in the past, they stopped birthing them. They have no more of those people. What they have now, they have great deceivers, because they know that their window of time of ruling the planet is up. These people, these scholars of the white man, they know this already. You're the one that's still blind, deaf, and dumb and don't realize that this is what they're doing. So they're continually deceiving you into thinking that they have a mighty and a great futures, and you begin to believe it. Why? Because you're like Lazarus sitting at the rich man's gate. You like the white man's wealth, so you're chasing wealth, chasing money, and then you take that money and you contribute it right back to the white man's civilization. Then you're begging for reparations. You're not begging for no separate state or territory, but you want black people, the white folks, to give us all this money. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't give us something. But what is the use of them giving money to black people when all you're going to do is go buy televisions and cars and bigger homes and things of that age? You're still not going to build an independence for yourself. The reason why you're not going to build an independence for yourself, because you don't have the knowledge to do anything other than what you learned from the white man. So this is a very complex problem that we have. And it requires people of a superior wisdom. And praise be to Allah, I'm one of them. I know I am. There's no doubt in my mind. And it comes from the things that I believe, the things that I advocate, and the things that I actually do. And I get up in the morning every day, and what's on my mind is total freedom, justice, and equality. Islam, separation from the white man. And separation from the white man does not have to be confrontational or adversarial. The message said there were white people of intelligence, they will agree that separation is the only solution, and that they will help us if you go to them with the divine solution. But you're only begging for crumbs. So all of these talking heads, all of these people, and I'm going to call some more names later on as I continue to do these broadcasts. Right now, we are really attacking this religious ignorance. This religious ignorance has, overcrowded our community. Sport and play. You see these black men, these former athletes, and even current athletes. They have podcasts, and they're like, especially these men, they're like women. All they do is argue and fuss and talk about one another. And they have 8 million views, where you have a comedian and an ex-football player carrying everybody through the ringer. It's just gossip, slandering, and it's very feminine. So the white man is showing the entire world why they treat us the way they do. These are your entertainers, your so-called celebrities, the people that they put before you as examples of what you can accomplish. The rappers, the actors, the entertainers, all of these are no more than just white folks' monkeys. They're all in a zoo, and they giving the man in the mud and the woman in the mud an example where you can accomplish this. So everybody now they just want to talk. But you're not talking about anything. You're not talking about trying to preserve, defend, and control our own destiny, which is to build our own world. And you have some people that may be talking about that, but they still don't have the solution, because you have to have the knowledge to do this. The desire is one thing, but if you don't come and get the right knowledge, you're still going to fail. This book is titled The Fall of America. And in it is an article titled The destruction of America's education. The fall of America. This is the title of a book. The fall of America. You know, every black man, woman, and child should read this book. So what we're looking at in America, is the bouncing cat. We're looking at the bouncing cat. The cat is bouncing because she has fallen to her death. America's already dead. The cat is just bouncing, and you're mistaking the bounce for life. And the reason why, that's her recoil. After such a long and hard fall, she hit the ground, so she's bouncing. Boing, boing, boing. So you're mistaking the bounce for life. The cat is dead. America's done. You can stick a fork in her. But you're mistaking the bouncing of the cat for life. Rigor mortis has set in, but it's just a natural spring there. So America is using this bouncing cat analogy, you know, to fool and deceive black people and their own kind that they have a great future. Well, how many of you look at the debt clock that's taking place in America? You can't just be an average man and woman walking the street trying to solve this problem. And then you got some people say, oh, we just got to store up some food and we got to get off the grid. You have to do this, that, and the third. They're trying to destroy the planet. They're going to do this, and we just got to wait on God to come and get us and take us someplace. You're a damn fool. God has already come. God didn't build the ark. Noah and the people of Noah built the ark. God gave Noah the knowledge and wisdom to build the ark to get those people out of the damn way. And your poison book, the Bible, said that this Son of Man, as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Noah's claim to fame is he built an ark. And those people made mockery of Noah until they realized they couldn't drink all that damn water. Well, you're making mockery of Elijah Muhammad. You're taking sides with Malcolm and all these other disbelievers and hypocrites. You niggas don't love Malcolm. Your affinity and fake love for Malcolm is only because he went against his teacher. And Malcolm's teacher, which is Elijah Muhammad, went against the white man. So you only showing love and approval of Malcolm because you love the white man. It's not because you love Malcolm. What in the hell did Malcolm accomplish? Nothing. He just gave you a bunch of speeches, but he did nothing for you. Only thing Malcolm did was double cross you. Elijah Muhammad taught that the black man is God, the black man is Allah, and the white man is the devil. Malcolm said he no longer believes that the black man is God. As a matter of fact, Malcolm said that Elijah Muhammad needs to renounce that the black man is God. He said that if he go to the East, if he had went to the Orthodox world and taught that God is a man, that they would have beheaded Elijah Muhammad. That's how sinister and evil this Negro was. But yet you claim to love him. Man came to tell you to put you on top of civilization. By identifying you as the God, as the supreme being, as the universal ruler, giving you a big name to live up to. And because one couldn't have his way, he said, no, Elijah Muhammad wasn't right. And y'all believed him. Y'all ain't believe Malcolm because it was true. You believe in Malcolm because you love white folks. That's how messed up you are. I wouldn't give you a red nickel, a red penny for Malcolm and anything he ever taught. So yeah, we have a serious problem that we have to deal with here. Destruction of America's education, starting at page 92 in this book, Fall of America. Pardon me. Destruction of America's education. The plague of Allah God against the educational system of America is something that the philosophers and scientists should look into. He referred to the destruction of America's education as a plague. as the destruction of America's education is the destruction of their wisdom to educate the people. There are many who look on the destruction without taking a second thought of the destruction of America's education. Education is a guide for the people to keep and maintain a civilized life. It is education that civilizes us. Now, to see the citizens of America rebelling against the American educational system is something that the wise of the wise should take thought of. So why you keep running, trying to get America's education? Because you're not wise. The American people no longer want their education, and they are destroying the very houses that house their textbooks of education. They are rebelling against their teachers. I'm not going to do an article reading, but I'm going to make a point. About being able to avoid extinction and annihilation. That's my subject this morning. How to avoid extinction and permanent annihilation. Listen carefully. The black people of today who are blindly helping the white people to destroy this civilization are like Samson was in his day and time. Just think about a few years back after the George Floyd situation. When, black folks and white folks got together to remove some statues. And it changed a lot of laws. And it brought about a very intense battle between blacks and whites. I'm not afraid of the battle. I don't have any problem with that. What my problem with you is that I'm gonna show you where you went wrong at. This is why Elijah Muhammad is the only man with a solution to solve the problem between the two people. And when you reject him, you're rejecting your future. When you reject Elijah Muhammad, you're going to die. Your children are going to die. And when you reject Elijah Muhammad, that means that you want black people like me to remain mental slaves. And when you reject Elijah Muhammad and you desire that I remain a slave or become a slave, then I have to see you as an enemy to our future. And I'm going to treat you as an enemy. I have to treat you as a treasonous traitor to your own black people. But this is what he wrote. The black people of today who are blindly helping the white people to destroy this civilization are like Samson was in his day and time. He helped to pull the building down, but he was blind to the effect of the destruction of the building. All Samson wanted to do was to get even with his mockers, who had put out his eyes and who laughed at him. Samson did not care whether there will be a civilization left behind him or not. He was willing to die, blind to the knowledge of the future of his people and those people he was destroying. Throughout America, her colleges, her universities, and her teachers are in danger. Just look at the school system. This book came out in 1973. 1973 is when this came out. 1973, I'm going to say it again, is when this book came out. What's that, 50 some years ago? 1973 was when this article was put in this book. 1973. Throughout America, her colleges, her universities, and her teachers are in danger. Just last year, I believe, right here on the East Coast, some folks got shot at a high school graduation. You see our young people, they are going mad. When COVID or so-called COVID hit, they shut down the school systems. Children they couldn't even go to school. And then they tried to do some homeschooling, and the parents were nowhere to be found. So, the education system is already destroyed. They can't even find teachers. A lot of the teachers resigned and went into other fields of profession. The students no longer want old world guidance. It is a new world that they want. But this is your problem, black people. But in their mad destruction of the old world, they do not know how to prepare for a new world civilization. And this is the problem. You don't know how to prepare or build a new world, a new civilization. So you can be mad, you can help the white man, or you can help pull his house down, but you're going to fall down with the house. You're going to be destroyed with that what you're trying to destroy. You're going to be removed as well, because you don't have the knowledge to do anything different, to build a new one. This is where the teachers of Islam, is taught by Elijah Muhammad, comes in. It is a new world that they want, but in their mad destruction of the old world, they do not know how to prepare for a new world civilization. They do not have guidance for a new civilization, and in their madness, they refuse to hear a teacher teaching of an educational system of a better civilization, the civilization of the black man. And in this article, the message talked about a lot of things. He said the wisdom of the educational system of the aboriginal black man of the earth has never been known to this world, because the black man was put to sleep in order to let this world, white man, try itself at ruling. Now the rule of this world has been found to be dissatisfying, and the dissatisfaction is at 100%. And dissatisfaction brings about a change. He said Allah God has come to take over and to guide another people and to setting up a better educational system for the people of whom he himself is the head. Education a better educational system. So he said that we now have the knowledge from God to build a better education system, but you reject it. The rubbish from the destruction of the old civilization has to be removed. So if you don't have the knowledge of the new one, you're only going to try to pick up bits and pieces of the rubbish. And that's the problem. You don't have a divine solution to do anything different. You don't have the tools or the intellectual tools or weaponry or the wisdom to build a new civilization. You won't get that unless you have to come through Elijah Muhammad to get that. And Elijah Muhammad is physically past. So you have to come through his people. When you're not able to recognize his people, you're never going to get to him. You're never going to get to the true and living God if you don't go through Elijah Muhammad. If you don't recognize his people, you're not going to recognize God, who is yourself, black man. So the circle of brotherhood is vital. But as long as you have this self-hatred, this envy and jealousy, and this hatred of one another, competing with one another, even black Muslims, you're full of this. It's Negro behavior. The black man who hears the teachings of Islam, he wrote, feels proud that he's been taught something that he wishes for all of his life. But the average black man that hears does not accept it as he should. He accepts it in such a way that he can be criticized and mocked, because he wants to take a piece of it, as he's done in the past, and he runs away with it, claiming that he knows this. He will try and set something up of his own from a few words of it. This throws the black man behind. They do this through envy, jealousy, and proudness on the part of the person. And that's you today. You're envy, jealous, and proud. This is the way the black man of America of America is divided. The devil knows that the black man is proud and envious. The white man helps him to be this way so that the black man will never get in the place towards self if the black man makes such steps to divide himself up. So the devil is teaching our people division. The devil goes to get everyone whom he thinks is for the black man to idolize. And that's what you do. You're picking up people to idolize. I mean, even I get a lot of folk. I mean, you in my inbox, you're sending me text messages. Go listen to this one and go. I mean, stop sending me that bull crap. They don't have the wisdom. But I never recognize you or observe you sharing anything that I teach. So I've begun to remove myself from those people who claim to be with us in what we're trying to get it done. Because I never see you advocating anything that we're trying to get accomplished. I say, oh, these people are not with us. They're not with you. They're not with this program. So I remove you. I remove myself from you. So you should go get this article. John Elijah Muhammad said, you will get divine death and destruction with no one to give you any honor and respect. Only the devil whom you should serve. Because you're following these hypocrites and enemies of our salvation. So they keep putting these people before you. The Shannon Sharps, y'all call him Shay, whatever you call him. He's just a football player. He was a damn good football player. But he don't have the solution to solve this problem, so he gets up and I'm not hating on it, brother. I'm just telling you, y'all black people, you better start trying to get with the truth and get away from all this entertainment. Oh, dude was a hell of a football player. His brother was even better. But to sit there and have these discussions and sit there and talk about things that has nothing to do with our rise, nothing to do with our survival, and you don't understand how this is a method of the white man to keep you blind, deaf, and dumb. So they allow these entertainers, these so-called celebrities, to come before you as if they got the solution to our problems. So you no longer even look for the solution. You just like being entertained. Listen, Cat Williams was funny as hell. But Cat Williams has no idea how to get this accomplished. He's funny as hell now. But I have to look at it from the position of, hey, what about our future? I'm not haters of these guys. They can only do that which their knowledge allowed them to do. But you have to look at this from a different perspective. The message says, after he teach you the truth, it's immaterial whether you believe it or not. After you're taught the truth, no one gonna try to force you to believe it. I'm not trying to force you to believe it. I'm just here to tell you that, you better look at this from a different perspective. I got one more thing I'm going to cover, then I'm going to shut this off. It's an article titled "To Gain a Place in the Sun," and he referred to this as a evil and perilous time. Taken from this book, Message to the Black Man. To gain a place in the sun. To gain a place in the sun. See, these people, they don't have the solution to this problem. In this perilous and evil time, with the confusion of the people, government leaders, and rulers, the poor, lost found members of the black nation who are called Negroes and their enemies must know that the truth is their salvation, their greatest weapon at this time. The truth. What is the truth? What truth is he talking about? He's not talking about you getting up preaching every week. That's not what he's talking about. You getting up talking truth. That's not the greatest weapon. It is a weapon to be able to tell the truth. To be able to tell the truth is a weapon you can use. But it's like having a loaded weapon and you never fire it. You're showing it to people. Yeah, look at this Magnum, look at this 357, and look at this Uzi, look at this bomb that I have, or whatever it is. Oh, I'm just talking about a carnal weapon. But you never fire it. And just because you said this is a weapon, but if you never used the weapon, what good is it? So all your preaching, getting up and talking Islam, what good is it? You say you're trying to raise the dead. No, you're not. You're actually killing the living. Because that's already been done. Again, you're trying to live in a history that has already expired. And our history has to be renewed. Who made the Holy Quran of Bible? How long ago? Would you tell us why does Islam renew its history every 25,000 years? The Holy Quran of Bible is made by the original people, who is Allah. It's a book of history written in advance. And we make history to equal our home circumference. So we have no land, we make no history. So this is the truth. We need land to build a civilization. We need land not just to grow food and raise livestock and work on machinery, but we need land to bring about a form of civil and behavior engineering. We need land to build a new people, and these new people, a couple of 100 years from now, they will build a new civilization. They're going to carry us home. But you don't have the knowledge and the wisdom to understand or to desire that, hey, listen, let me go do this part right here so I can go out. By the time I pass on physically, I don't pass this baton on to the next generation. But the only thing you pass it on to them is, hey, you got to go listen to the person. You got to go listen to that person. You got to come to the temple. You got to go stand on the corner and sell papers. Get on the internet and preach. But you're not talking about anything with any substance. That's already been done. You spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. I mean, thousands of dollars every year around this time of year, which we call Savior's Day. And you're proud and arrogant over that. That's already been done. How did that turn out? Why are you still trying to reenact a time period that is already expired? Black people, not just the Muslims, the black nationalists, the Pan-Africanists, the conscious community, the new Black Panther Party, all of you are trying to reenact a period that is gone. He said the truth is our salvation and their greatest weapon at this time. I'm going to read this again. In this perilous and evil time, with the confusion of the people, you can't tell me that these people aren't confused. Government leaders and rulers. I mean, look what's going on in the political climate in America today with the election of a president. I mean, look what he wrote is jumping off the pages. With the confusion of the people, the government leaders and rulers, the poor, lost, found members of the black nation who are called Negroes and their enemies must know that the truth is their salvation and their greatest weapon at this time. The preachings and teachings of the true knowledge of God and the devil, which Allah God has missioned me to do, and I am doing for you, are beyond value. It is your life and the light of your life, and it will bring you out of the spiritual darkness and ignorance into which you have been placed by the enemy of God of truth and light and understanding. So the rising of opposition against divine truth revealed in the last days, years, also has been told by the prophets of old, and we have it in writing that this opposition against the truth is not to be feared by you who believe and have understanding. The truth will be attacked by the disbeliever and hypocrite in the last day. And I'm going to get into this in a minute. I'll tell you what truth is being attacked. A champion without an opponent cannot be recognized as the champion. Since the making of the devil, he has been the chief opponent, and he will continue to be until he is destroyed by God. He, the devil, teaches and trains others of all races, organizations, and religions. Who is this God that's going to remove the devil? It's the black man. What is he going to use to remove the devil? A superior wisdom. But you fear, black man. You're full of fear. You're full of cowardice. You're full of envy and jealousy. And it's going to bring about our demise now. And the only thing that's going to stop this, if you don't get hold of this wisdom, would be a bloody civil war within the black community. And you probably won't even do that. You probably wouldn't not even take to one another to solve this problem. I'm not advocating violence. I'm saying violence may become necessary in the future if you don't grab hold of the truth. Because once you grab hold of the truth, an adequate number of us, we won't need violence. So he said the devil teaches, the white man teaches and trains others of all races, organizations, and religions. What truth are they against? He said that the devil's world has created various religions in opposition to the true religion. So that you got other religions being created now. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all these talking people. These people are in opposition to the truth. And if they're in opposition to the truth, who are their teachers? The devil is their teachers. This is what you don't understand today. So you're trying to advocate these people who are in opposition to the truth, which means that you're actually believing in the white man. And he referred to this as a final attack. His world has created various religions in opposition to the true religion, and he prepared them for a final attack on the God of truth and his word, which is truth, as well as his representatives, who are called apostles, messengers, and prophets. This is the last attempt to defend falsehood and mislead the people who otherwise would have followed and believed in the God of truth and his messengers and prophets. But what is this truth? I'm going to tell you what this truth is now. They're preaching that we should have some of this earth we can call our own is far from being an ignorant teaching that cannot be accomplished. This is wisdom you should know in these days and times. Without some of this earth of our own, we will never be a people to produce for ourselves. And that's the bottom line. The truth that you're attacking is separation, to build our own independence. That's what you're attacking. And the white man is your teacher. So I'm going to bring this to a close. He said that we must build our own society. We must build our own society. We must build our own society. He said that the black men in America shall become the universal rulers. And he said we can do this at once. The only thing that's keeping us from becoming the universal rulers is our adherence to the white man's religion called Christianity. That's what he said now. So you have to ask the question, have we become the universal rulers? The answer is no, we haven't. And if we have failed to become the universal rulers, the problem is the white man's Christianity. That's the problem. It's the white man's Christianity. the white man's Christianity. That's the problem. Slavery, suffering, and death. You look at this actual fact board, that man is hanging from the tree. His feet are not attached to any land he can call his own. That's how important land is. A man can't string you up in your own land. This is the truth the black man must get. This is how we preserve, defend, and protect ourselves, by organizing ourselves in small groups and start building a world of our own, using nothing but supreme wisdom. Get our young people out of the way, to protect our women and children, to get our women to help us, because they are the mothers of civilization. They should be protected and put in an environment where they can teach our babies supreme wisdom by the time they're 2, 1.5, 2, 3 years old. They should be able to finish the university college curriculum by the time they're 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. They should be finished. And they should start getting married by the time they're 16 and raising families. And we continue to do this for a period of 100, 200, 300, 400 years, consistently, with no let up. It's a process that has to take place. But you need to be separated to do this. You need land to do this. Yakub, an original man who manufactured the devil, he didn't manufacture the devil in the midst of everybody else. No, he took those people away from everyone else on an island, the island of Patmos or Pilam in the Aegean Sea. On the Aegean Sea, pardon me. And he manufactured the devil. Took him 600 years to do it. That's how important separation really is. And we are given Yakub's history to study, to analyze, and comprehend what it is we're supposed to be doing. We just cannot use Yakub's teaching, which is to tell lies, to foster self-hatred, internal strife, fighting and killing one another. So you have to be a man and woman equipped with a superior intelligence, a superior wisdom to bring this about. And I'm saying praise be to Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad for his messenger, Elijah Muhammad. I'm one of those men. You can take it or leave it alone. So I'm going to bring this to a close, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with my day, because I'm going to go outside and, try to build some tool sheds and some tiny houses. That's what I'm working on, and, I'm not a builder, but I can learn it. And, I'm happy to get someone out here to run plumbing and run electrical, because I don't do plumbing and I don't do electrical work. I can do carpentry work, but I don't fool with plumbing and I don't fool with electricity. Those two things I do not fool with. So, I'm out here in rural America, and I'm an hour and a half away from people I grew up with, people that I know, and people that, and it's hard to get them to come out here and help me. So I have to make friends out here. And because I have a compound out here, I'm very careful about who I invite out here. Because I don't have to shoot you. I don't have to cut your damn head off and bury you in the ground because you want to come out here and be an enemy, cause a nuisance. I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill nobody. So I got to, I roped this place off. So, I walk my post in a perfect manner, keeping always on alert. This is very complicated, brothers and sisters. You got to be a man that's a true soldier. I don't mean walking around putting a soldier uniform on and you just a civilian faking. You got to be true to this. So this is how we are able to stop the annihilation and the destruction of our great future, our rendezvous with destiny. Is that we have to build a world of our own. And you Muslim people, and I'm reading some of your posting, and you're saying that we got to wait for 1,000 years before we remove the devil. You're taking this all out of context. You're saying that we got to wait on the law. You niggas are retarded. You're actually saying that we need to wait on your blind, deaf, and dumb, lazy behind. On the one hand, you say you, the black man, is the law. Then you said we need to wait on the law. Now, you can't have it both ways, Negro. You can't say that on the one hand, you are Allah, and on the other hand, that we need to wait on the law before we can build. If we fail to build our own civilization, naturally, we're going to continue to fall victim to the civilization of the devil. And you can look in your lessons, since you claim that you supreme, that you have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Well, you can't show and prove it. You cannot show and prove that the black man is God, always has been, and always will be. That's part of you don't even understand the message's answer to the question. You can recite it, come out of your mouth, but it's not in your heart. And because it's not in your heart, you don't really believe it. He said that the hardest part is after you get it, the truth, is to believe the truth. It's in this book, Our Savior Has Arrived. This book right here never taught the knowledge of God. So I was going to bring this to a close, but I'm not going to close with this piece. Never taught the knowledge of God. Never taught a true knowledge of God. He said the so-called Negro's problem of getting the truth is very hard. But the hardest problem to solve is getting them to believe it after getting it in their ears. This is due to their being brought up solely under the teachings of their enemies. He said, this is the time. There never will be any peace among the nations of the earth until the so-called Negroes have heard the truth, and those who accept it are separated and placed in the paradise of their God Allah. I'm going to say this again for the retarded people, the slow people, the short bus people, the people that take them 6 hours to watch 60 Minutes. The people that go into the dollar store and, where say everything is $1, and you pick up an item and you go, how much is this? This is a form of mental illness. I'm going to read this again. There never will be any peace among the nations of earth until the so-called Negroes have heard the truth, and those who accept it are separated and placed in the paradise of their God, Allah. The so-called American Negroes with their God, Allah, shall become the universal rulers. Believe it or not. They can do it now if they will quit this slavery religion called Christianity. No black people who accept Christianity will ever be free. You automatically become the servant of the white race and not of God upon accepting their religion. The so-called Negroes with their leaders should come out of it into their own religion, but they cannot undo it. They cannot until they first have a thorough knowledge of self and others. So you may want to tear down America's system, but you don't have the knowledge and wisdom and understanding to replace it with a better one, a divine one. Nor will you allow yourself to be taught to be able to get it accomplished. So you ask the question, have we become universal rulers? No. Why? Because you have failed to quit Christianity. Hear the truth, those who have heard the truth, and those who accepted the truth separate. So just because you have heard the truth, it proves and shows and proves that you haven't accepted it. Because you don't want to separate. And because you don't want to separate, brothers and sisters, it's going to bring about our demise. I'm going to close this down because I've been here too long, about 90 minutes. And I could go all the way, I could go for 6 more hours. I could go into tomorrow this time without repeating myself. But I don't have that kind of time. May Allah bless the righteous, and may He continue to curse and punish the opposers of our great future. And I try to punish them and drive them out every opportunity I get. You only get a slight opportunity to waste my time. You only get a small period of time to waste mine. Then I begin to drive you off. He said, because things going to get so bad, you're going to be forced to accept the teachings. And then we're going to have to turn you down. You can also read this in that book. You think that Master Prophet Muhammad going to turn you down, or some mystery God that you don't turn Master Prophet Muhammad into. We're going to use the wisdom of Master Prophet Muhammad to decide when to turn you down. You don't believe in the black God, so you begin to believe in the white God. So we say, rest in peace, white supremacy. The supreme being, the black man of Asia, is Allah. And as a 5% poor righteous teacher, that's what we teach. We teach that Allah is a man, black man. And we take this teaching, after learning this teaching, to build a civilization for ourselves. Just go to your lessons, go to your lessons, go to your lessons, go to your lessons. May Allah bless the righteous, and may he do opposite of blessing to the unrighteous. May he continue to punish men, women, and children who are in opposition to our future. I don't care who you are, man, woman, or child. If you're in opposition to this, then you are enemy to the true and living God, who is the black man or the black people. I leave as I came before you in the most holy name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest apostle, the great Elijah Muhammad. I leave as I came before you in our nation's greetings of peace and the paradise of Islam alaikum.